Good morning. What's up? How are you, Juice?
I'm great. Doing very well. Had a big day yesterday. I was in Old San Juan with two ladies who are staying here, and it was really amazing because I had to go out to lunch with them and dinner. And I sat there with my water, smelling their delicious food. But I mean, honestly, I wanted to order something. Like, I thought about it in the second restaurant because we went to like a Turkish restaurant where they have like hummus and all that good stuff. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm not even hungry. So why would I F up just because I'm being greedy? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I wasn't hungry at all. I was content, completely content. So, yeah, I just sat there with them and it was fine. I felt good that I actually like used my strength to be with them and not want to eat. So,
Yeah,
that was
that it does take a lot of strength to do that, and that's what you find out about yourself. It takes strength, but it's also a matter of you know, this is your journey at this time, and you're gonna do it because you got big plans. You got that 40 day that you're looking at, you know, and that's amazing.
yeah, well,
That's amazing.
you missed the call the other day that I said I probably won't be able to do it because I'm going to be going to New York during that time. And, I was just trying to figure out how that would work. And I feel like it probably won't work for me because, I'll be with my children and we'll be, bopping around everywhere. So energy wise, when you want to fast, you want to have, and I already know that I won't be able to. I already know we're going to be up late and up early and, you know, talking and fun. I know that I for loving people, and they're gonna want me to cook. So I decided that I won't continue while I'm up there but I do think I would come back and do like maybe another week or two afterwards, and finish, like maybe finish in a different type of way, but like just continue. That's what I'm thinking of doing because I still have my goals that I'm trying to achieve, and this is all about discipline still. So yeah, but I'm not going to do it when I go away because you really shouldn't do it when you're traveling and you know, like you're working. I mean, it's hard. It really should be for folks who can be close to home, close to the bed when they feel the energy, when they feel the need to work out. I mean, rest. They should be able to do so. If you're running and ripping and running, then it's not advisable. I know that as a fact. So no, I'm not gonna do 40 right now. Maybe June. We'll see
I'm
where
I,
life.
yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that because actually, what you just said makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Like you said, you'll be ripping and running with your kids and stuff like that, and that's not the lifestyle for fasting, really. It is for when you can, it's a restful time. It's a rebuilding stage, and you know, they won't understand that. Your kids will not get that. They'll look at it as, oh man, she's grumpy, or what's wrong with her, so yeah, and this 21 day will end just in time for your travel. So yeah, I think that was a very responsible decision to make, and I think that's a good one.
Actually, they know about fasting. We actually did a 14-day fast together a couple years ago. My 9-year-old did 5 days. I told her she can start and end whenever she wants. So my 9-year-old did 5 days on water, and my how old were they at the time? I can't remember. So probably like 15 and 17-year-old. They did 14 days of water. We all did it together. So they know about fasting, but you know, I'm not going to put them through that. because I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my time with them. So yeah, but people should fast their children sometimes. Not all children. The children have to want to do it. If they don't want to do it, then um, they shouldn't do it. But if the children are interested and they have the information, fasting your children is totally safe. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I didn't know about fasting so much when my kids were smaller. I'm sure with them seeing me to do it, they probably would they would have wanted to try it. Um, Now they see me do it, but they're not really, to them that's like, yeah, okay, well, let me know when it's over, that kind of thing. So, but I guess the more they see me do it, at least they're being introduced to it in their late teens, early 20s, and it's something that's available to them, and they know that. So, um, that's great, Sky. That's great. So, Mickey, Claire, anybody have any revelations? How you guys feeling?
Go ahead, Nikki.
I'm just so grateful that, I mean, we did for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. And then we have only one more week to left. And I'm just so excited. And then I still can't believe, full of energy. And then uh, it's just so feeling so wonderful. I just wanted to tell you guys thank you so much. Without you, I couldn't done this far. And, I'm looking forward to another week with you guys. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yay!
Well, for me, because I don't know Sky you said Paul, but I kind of screwed up, so I'm gonna go to 28 to the 28th of February. That's my plan. And I'm gonna finish about maybe like that. So,
I
that's what
didn't
I'm.
hear what you said.
Oh, I said because I kind of screwed up a bit. I'm gonna go to the 28th of February. I've started and finish there. And
Your
start.
face is looking more slender.
Yeah, I know. Actually, Grandma was saying that a while ago. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, I think all of us are like really like changed or like I think I'm noticing it in everyone. I can't see Nikki today, but yeah, I was just saying to Nikki yesterday, Sky, that she's glowing. Like just I hope you don't mind me saying Nikki, 'cause we were talking about doing an enema. And I found that too. I haven't done that yet. I mean, I want to go do something in the next couple of weeks or so. So I find when I do that, it's like really, really, your skin feels great. Everything, like it's amazing. Even
Mhm.
like what the hell? Like my mom's like totally against it. She's like, doesn't your body get used to that stuff? So, yeah.
You know what, Korea? This is just me. That's how I feel. But I think the doing enema while you are detoxing is actually perfect time because it really helped me. And like I briefly, kind of graphically tell you guys last night, but you really see it, what's coming from you, and then you're gonna be surprised. You'll be glad you did. I mean, like I said, I'm a very regular. I go bathroom every day while I'm not fasting. So I thought my colon is clean, but when you're doing that, since you're doing water fast, it's really helping you to get it out of the system. So why not little bit help over like warm water to cleanse up. I think that would be wonderful for me. And after I did that, I feel so much fine. Before that, I had a gas issue, so that kind of tells me I have something in there bubbling up. So that's why the reason I did it. So I mean, I'm not forcing you, nobody to do it. Like, this is just a personal. So that's my opinion.
How
Yeah,
many?
it's
Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
no, babe, you
No,
got it.
babe, you got
I'm
it.
gonna mute.
Nikki asked, mind me asking, but this is all real cool. Yeah, how many enemas, if anyone's done it? I know Nikki has, but like I don't know if Van you have, and I know Sky she's gonna do it on this fast. How many enemas have you done this fast, Nikki? Do you mind me asking?
Yeah, what I did was a day before the fast, I only drink coconut water, fresh coconut water, and then I did the lemon enema. I thought that really helped me a lot. And then the day 7, I did it, and then yesterday, that was not just only warm water, but I I decided to at least once a week doing enema. So I guess after I finish this fast, I'm going to do lemon enema this time. So that will be finishing up cleansing.
Wow, that's really cool. Has anyone tried wheatgrass? Because I know that you guys were talking in the last fast about wheatgrass. I don't know. I mean, my colonic lady just does her thing, so I don't know whether I think she does. She mentioned to me that coffee was a good one, like Sky said as well. So I don't know. All I know is it's just warm water at this point, but I don't know.
I mean, I've tried wheatgrass in the past. The last fast, I did wheatgrass. It was great. I did coffee before. That was great. I did aluminum-free baking soda this time around, which was fantastic. I felt very clear and clean. I only did one so far, and I'm probably going to do another one before the weekend is over. Um, yeah, but it's all personal. It's a personal choice. If you feel you need it, you do it. If you feel like you don't need it, you don't have to. The body will do what it does. But yeah, I prefer to because I like Mickey. It could be in my mind, but I'm thinking, something's going on in there. I want to get it out of there. Plus, like I said, the quality of the food today, and all the build up from all the years and, just to try to clean out as much as I can while I'm down, while the factory's shut down. When you shut the factory down, maybe, you might want to get some cleaning done, because it's a 24-hour pretty much, even when you sleep, there's digestion happening and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so we're on Valentine's Day today, and not everybody celebrates, holidays like that, and that's respectable. I never used to either. I never used to be big on holidays and like Thanksgiving. You can even talk to me about that, based on the significance of how that all came about. I wasn't really enrolled in that sort of thinking. But these days, I kind of just said, you know what, I'm just going to use it as a symbol just to reach out to people. So that's basically what I'm doing. I just use it, like Valentine's Day. I don't need Valentine's Day to tell somebody I love them, and to buy them flowers and, give them a card or whatever. But I use it as use it symbolically anyway, to really remind me, hey, you have people in your life, that love you. So make sure, you go and you tell them, and that's what I'm using it for. So happy Valentine's Day to all y'all out there, and to my fellow compatriots here on the call, and I was listening to the fast we did with Christopher Aaron last year, and I went to day 14, and of course, it's a lot of mind-blowing information. He was discussing how the fasting ritual, so to speak, is to rebuild your temple. Is to shine light. Our temples are dark because of the offerings we've been giving it. The foods. Well, not Sky. I mean, Sky eats the way we all supposed to eat all the time, but and I want to aspire to that sort of diet, sooner than later. Like I said, I'll be going to a flexitarian sort of diet after this, and maybe one day I'll get back to being a vegan or maybe a raw foodist. But he was saying it made so much sense. He was saying that like our temples are full of darkness due to the offerings that we've given it, the meat. He went into the whole meat consumption and how much negative energy that puts on you and your aura. And if you could see your aura, and things like that, and it just makes so much sense. He was discussing how there's a lack of compassion in the world, and that's where heart attacks come from, and how appropriate today is the Valentine's Day, focusing on the heart, and coincidentally we did that last year, and it was the 14th day. So I don't think there are any mistakes. That just blew my mind when I put that correlation together. I was like, wow, that can't be a coincidence. So he was discussing everything about the heart chakra, about the color green, being the centerpiece of the rainbow, and it was just a fascinating conversation, and so. If anyone gets a chance, you might want to review that. Christopher Aaron, 21-Day Water Fast, Day 14. Really interesting conversation. You had Claire in there, you had me, you had Sky, and a number of other people that joined us on that fast. But yeah, it's amazing. He said daily there are about 1 billion chickens that are slaughtered just to feed the people of Chicago alone daily. Can you imagine? There's just no compassion. And it really makes you wonder, why do we eat meat? Why do we need to consume meat when all the life and all the light that we need are in the foods that God gave us? I'll mute from there, but just wanted to bring that up.
I like that you brought that point up, because I kind of feel the same way. And anytime folks tell me that you really have to eat meat to get your protein, I just changed cameras. Anytime people tell me that they have to eat meat to get their protein, then I know that they are, I guess the way I put it is they're just on a certain level. And I'm not saying I'm on a better level, but I'm just saying, I just kind of picture everyone in a library, and so they're over here on this bookshelf over here. I might be on this side, and oh, here's your towel. And the fact that when I was younger, I thought that we had to eat meat to be alive. That's what I thought. I don't know where I got that. I don't think anyone even told me that. I just thought that that was part of what food was. And then as I got older and found out we actually don't need to eat meat to get protein and nutrients and things that we need to survive, I was like, oh, so why do we eat it? That was kind of like a big, what is the word?
Epiphany.
Epiphany, thank you.
Yeah.
That was a big epiphany for me, because I was like, so why are we killing all these animals to eat, And I'm not really the big tree hugger. I try not to be, because I just think it can be a little extreme. Like, I do have leather shoes. But I do feel that, it's not really the eating of meat that is causing the most destruction to the planet and to people. It's actually the raising of animals for meat that is the most invasive to our life, because they say that it takes 5 acres to raise a beef cow into a cow or a bull into beef. It takes about 5 acres of land, but on those 5 acres you can grow so much food for like thousands of people. And the beef cow, the cattle, can only feed about 100 and something people, but 5 acres can feed thousands of people. And then the waste that they run off, and those types of issues and stuff like that. So we're raising a lot of meat for consumption, and it's just more feasible to grow, and especially pound for pound, when you look at protein and calcium and all the other major nutrients, your fat, your carbs, pound for pound, you're just going to yield more by growing it. Thus, those are just some common sense factors I think that are happening in the vegetarian meat eating world. Do people have to stop eating meat? They should. I just feel it's more intelligent. That's just me personally. And a lot of reasons. Honestly, when the reasons people have for eating meat are kind of whack. My husband, for example, he eats meat. He eats chicken and fish. And I said, well, if you know so much about vegetarianism and you eat mostly vegetarian, but you just eat a little meat, why do you still eat meat? He said, well, I just like how it tastes. Now, that answer I appreciate more than what happened was, see, right, like I was on this vegetarian diet and I started losing a lot of weight and my protein levels had dropped, and see what, when people start going into that nonsense rhetoric, that means you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Thrive on a vegetarian diet. If you like to eat meat, say you like to eat meat and let it be. You know what I mean? To me, I appreciate that more than I wasn't thriving. Most people I find who weren't thriving on a vegetarian diet weren't eating enough. They weren't getting the calories. So, in a vegetarian world, ounce for ounce, meat foods are more dense. They're more calorie heavy. So you can eat less food, When you eat salads and lots of green leafies and then, you throw in your potatoes and your rice and stuff like that. Rice, beans, and salad is very low in calories. You can eat a big plate of rice, beans, and some kind of a green veggie, and you've probably had 300 calories. You eat the same thing, rice, veggies, and put a piece of meat on it, and you might have boosted that up to like 800 calories. See the difference? I mean, and that's just off the top of my head. So a lot of people who don't thrive and start losing mad amounts of weight eating vegetarian, they're just not eating enough. You're just going to have to eat more food, I mean, I could go on and on about that. I personally feel like it's a personal decision. Do what you want. It's all good. I just feel like I guess from where I stand, I guess I wish when people say they want to eat meat, just say because you love it. I love it. I like it. It tastes good, and it's good. It's good for me, my soul, because I enjoy it. That's why. But the fact, when you start talking facts like, oh, well, I'm not going to get the protein I need, and I'm not, because anybody who says, well, where do you get your protein from? Anytime people start off with a question like that, I almost don't even feel like having that conversation, because that means that all the time they spend online, they really haven't Googled that. Go Google that before you ask anybody who's a vegetarian, where do they get their protein from? Google it first and stop asking ignorant questions, because it's just unfounded. You can get as much protein, if not more so, and a better quality, and not only a better quality of protein, but it's not really what you eat, it's what your body will absorb. A lot of people are eating foods that are not even, they're still depleted in nutrients. They're still not getting the nutrients that they need because your body's not absorbing them. So you want to eat foods that your body will take in, that your body will create. For example, milk, dairy milk has a lot of calcium in it, and so therefore it would be to your assumption that, well, milk does the body good. If I drink all this dairy milk, I'm going to get enough calcium to be a strong, healthy person. So you live your whole life drinking all this dairy milk, and then your back starts bending when you become like 70 and 80 years old because your bones are depleting and your body's getting all hunched over. And you say, well, if I've been drinking milk my entire life, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I always have milk. What's going on? Why? Because as much calcium as is in dairy milk, how much of that calcium are you actually absorbing into your system? That's it. Next.
Well, I got something to say. Today I found out, I was on the news. I really just take my news online, so nowadays I don't really watch the news on TV. But they actually, and talking about like organic and all that sort of thing, they actually found out that I don't know if you get the brand over there, but it's called Nanas, and it's like frozen berries. You know, you can get the frozen berries and just put it in smoothie or whatever you want to eat it like that or whatever. I mean, sometimes I used to get, but not particularly that brand. They found out they had Hep A in it. And so there's like a massive like recall, and I was like, what the hell? I don't know. I think it might be packaged in China or somewhere. I don't know where it is, because a lot of the Australian market nowadays, they're importing, and it's not cool. Like, I like to personally go down to the farmers market if I can get down. Now I don't have a car, so I it's hard to get down there. I have to get a lift down there, or order from the Organic Collective, which is down the road. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe that they found, like, contamination is just ew. Anyway, I just wanted to share that shit.
I just want to share that, like with regards to Sky says about the milk. And I also did a lot of research on the milk calcium or milk sugar. It's called casein. That's a milk protein, I guess. I think that has a lot to do with cancer cause, so all that information. So I switched to almond milk. So that's for me.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a few years ago about, the dangers of consuming cow milk and stuff like that. I'd given up cow milk for some years, and I now also drink like raw milks. I'll drink a rice milk, hemp milk, and things of that nature. Yeah, but the whole food industry thingamajig, it's really not beneficial to our health when you think about it. I mean, it's called the Food and Drug Administration. It's not like there's the Food Administration and then on the other side there's the Drug Administration. They go hand in hand, because the more we consume these products, will eventually need a pill, from their cousin, the Drug Administration. So it's just, it's like one thing, man. It's common sense when you really peel back the layers and start looking at how things are, and I'm not here to preach, but I'm here to say that, and like Scott said, if you love meat, just say that. That's why I said I'm going to go to a flexitarian diet right now, because I appreciate certain things like shrimp. I love shrimp. I love a steak once in a while. I love chicken. I love fish. But what I won't do at this stage of my development is I won't put back into my body, into my temple, the level of abuse that took place even after the last fast. I mean, I was abusive. I mean, I never went back to that promised 75 to 90% raw diet that I said I was going to do. I think I did that for about 3 days, and then after that, it was on. I barely drank water sometimes. I had to remind myself to drink water. I had to remind myself to eat some raw foods. I would buy fruit and they would sit there and my son would eat it and I would forget to eat it. I'd say, oh yeah, I'll make sure I have an apple a little later after dinner, or, and that just never really happened. Bananas would go bad in my house, It's just that, this is just a reminder to just, stay within a certain boundary with yourself, respect yourself and love yourself enough to, like Chris used to say, eat the light. Don't invite darkness back into your temple like that. And if I'm smart, maybe I won't eat meat at all. I'm seriously considering that because I'm wondering how much do I really need to do that. you know. But once again, not preaching at all and not hating on the situation. You know, I am a meat eater myself, you know, but if I could give up alcohol for at least a year, which I vowed to do, you know, I could probably do the same thing with meat, and I've done it before. This is the thing, you know, I was fully vegan at one time for about 5 years. You know, so it's not like I don't know what to do. It's not like, and sometimes when you know what to do, that's the biggest problem because you don't do it. So, yeah, just don't, in my opinion, you know, fasting should be fun. It should be exploration. It should be rebuilding. And it should be a reminder, you know, of not inviting those offerings back in, especially at the magnitude that you may have been at, you know, at some point in your life. You know, prior to this, it was Burger King. You know, I have the nerve to say, well, I don't eat McDonald's. You know, McDonald's is not good for you, but I'll go to Burger King, you know, and I'll have the two for $5 special, which is the Big King, you know. Yeah, let me get 2 Big Kings, you know, and I'll sit there and I'll just salivate all over it, you know, and just enjoy that. And, you know, I did my share, you know, I did my share. And what this experience is doing for me is that it's telling me don't go back to that. You know, it's okay to enjoy a little treat once in a while, but you know, the cheesecake every other day to every third day with the big pint of ice cream, you know, the big bottles of wine and all these things, you know, don't go back to that. Like that's darkness, you know, and now it's a time to bring in the light, you know. So that's what this is about for me, you know, and you might want to consider it for yourselves also, because there is something to this. The foods we're eating tends to be non-foods, for lack of a better term. I'm gonna mute.
All I can say is that after this fast, I really want to go to this new Ethiopian restaurant that I found down the road. I'm really excited because I've never actually really tried Ethiopian food, and I'm so excited. So that's me. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, um, you know, the other side of that coin, Van, is the fact that, you know, folks need to be able to eat in a way, you know, even though we speak of like nourishment and calcium and fat and protein and all these things, folks need to be able to have joy when they're eating. You know, I remember I went to this Ann Wigmore Institute in here in Puerto Rico, and they, I love almost everything about their program. It's a wellness institute. Ann Wigmore started it. It's run by the board. They have like a very strict raw food program where you only eat. I mean, their menu is like very basic, like just super ridiculous basic. They do like a lot of what they call an energy soup. They don't do any juicing at all. Um, their food is very low glycemic, like no, barely, like tiny bit of fruit. Um, and what else? Like once a week, they'll make like a salty, bland, boring cookie, something. I mean, they do like a lot of fermented foods with Rejuvelac, and so taste-wise, I mean, you could get used to it, but it's not yummy, okay? However, if you have cancer or you have any ailment, literally if you have a headache, if you have anything, it literally will turn it around. I see it, I've seen it, I believe it, because this thing is high nourishment, right? The problem with that is folks come into the dining room with a sad face. They walk into the dining room like, gotta eat this crap again. And we have to balance joy with healing. You know what I'm saying? In other words, when we are like when I went to the program and I said if I were to do my own raw thing, I would have to make delicious foods because there's no way I'm going to have people. I want people excited to eat. I want people ready to eat. I don't think I don't, that's the only mistake I think they have is I think they call it a lifestyle. They shouldn't call it a lifestyle. They should call it a wellness program, a cleansing, a temporary fix to a long-term situation. And then afterwards, this is what you do to continue living. Here's some tips on what you can incorporate into your life. And I think that is where they fall off because they say, well, this is the way you should be living. And honestly, nobody there lives that way, nobody who works there and nobody who leaves there. And so I think that's their mistake because I don't even think Ann Wigmore would have been eating like that permanently. From after 2 or 3 weeks you're there, you're not going to just stay on that. And so when you think of the emotional response, like if, for example, the Burger King, Double King, whatever, you weren't feeding your body nutritiously, you were feeding your soul emotionally. And we have to incorporate what emotional eating and because food, I make some food that I'm just like, and we have to balance, like in other words, we need to change our taste buds. You know, that's why I like making vegan food and raw food into foods that people are familiar with because I love when people say to me, Sky, if I could cook like this, I would definitely be a vegetarian because there is an emotional connection that people have to foods that they ate when they were a child and they went to some delicious restaurant and they had the steak tartare and the shishi lala and all those different dishes and they and it resonates with them to their soul. It doesn't connect with them like, man, Sky, that food, I tasted the calcium. I got a whole lot of protein, and that vitamin C was kicking. You know, no one cares about that. You know, the body cares about that, but in your mind, your tongue is what is caring. Your tongue is like, man, that was delicious. Nothing in the deliciousness said, man, that had a lot of fat in it. You know what I mean? So we need to balance delicious flavors with health. For example, you mentioned like the pint of ice cream. There's nothing better than some chocolate ice cream. You know, like, oh my gosh, how can I get that same yummy delicious but not feel like a loser afterwards? Okay, let's make a chocolate banana sundae. You know, let's get some frozen bananas. Let's get some cacao powder. Let's get some dates, and let's make it in the blender and make a nice thick creamy chocolate banana and throw some cherries on top and maybe some salty sunflower seeds, and you know, we can even make a chocolate sauce out of like coconut oil and cocoa powder. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, I think we should, I don't want to like when you hear people like, oh, I could never do that, what they're saying is, I'm not going to give up my joy for that healthy crap. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to give up my joy. My joy is more important. And guess what? They are absolutely right. So what do we have to do? At least what one of my missions is, how can you keep your joy but still eat healthy? Okay? How can we switch the paradigm? Because obviously all that processed stuff you're eating is not doing anything for your health. But there's something in the chemical component and the way those flavors are knocking out your tongue that is making you feel wonderful. So let's switch the paradigm. You love steak, you love that nice greasy burger, that delicious sauce and the special sauce and the sandwich and all this stuff. Okay, let's get a whole grain sprouted bun. Let's get a portobello. You ever had a portobello grilled with like a nice cheesy sauce and put your little dressing and your salad and your tomatoes on top and sprouts? It is not only good, better for you, it tastes better for you. It tastes better and is better for you than the Double King. You understand what I'm saying? We want French fries. Okay, potatoes aren't that harmful. Okay, but let's not get the French fries from McDonald's because they will never go bad ever. They will never go bad on the. They will be around before us. So instead of getting the McDonald's fries, let's get some real French fries, some real potatoes, cut them up, put them in the oven, put a little bit of olive oil, sprinkle some salt and pepper and some herbs if you want, and make this like crunchy potato roast. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think people need to, in my mind, like people need to get with the program with real food. Stop being lazy and learn how to prepare food, okay? You are going to enjoy it more, you're going to be more nutrified, and your taste buds are still going to pop. You know, you can still have the desserts, the cakes, the what have you. They're going to be better for you in all ways. Your health will improve, and then just be conscious of, you know, too many sweets. And, you know, individuals can, because not everyone needs to lose weight. There are people who might need to gain weight. So it depends on the individual. So that's kind of like where I'm coming from. I think when I look at the whole scheme of like the eating world, there's a lot of fad diets, and there's a lot of ways that people think. You know, I was reading an article today about the Skeptics Dictionary, talking about how skeptical the alkaline diet is. And I talk about alkalinity all the time. But some of their points were valid. The interesting part of one of their points was that there's no research done on any human being. They've done it maybe on animals, but on any human being, whether eating food that is more alkaline does anything to you. When the food goes down and straight into your stomach, and your stomach has a pH of like 1.3 or 3.3 or some, very highly acidic number. Interestingly enough, let's also look at the business behind research, okay? The business behind research is some company, some corporation, somebody who is creating a drug is not going to research how carrot juice and green juices are going to benefit the body. So let's just be real about research. Research is going to benefit the person who needs the research to prove that they can get the funding, or what have you, for the drug or the technology that they need to create for their product. So the only people who would do research on whether eating more raw fruits and vegetables is beneficial is going to be like, someone who can afford, that type of research, and no one in wellness is up on that level. Nobody. I mean, I would like to see that, but no one is researching. Drinking eight juiced apples a day is going to be more beneficial to you than chemotherapy. Like, no one is researching that. It's not going to happen. There's no research because they're not going to research it. There's no benefit for them to research how Whole Foods is doing. But the research is in the facts that people are feeling better, their health is regenerating, they're cleansing their body, the junk is coming out, their skin is looking better, they're losing weight, they're getting more clarity of mind. Like, just if you just start asking people, how do you feel when you eat whole foods? What's the deal? People are like, I feel great, I feel amazing, my blood pressure dropped, my period dropped in days, my this, my that, all these things are happening. So that's what I would have to say about food research and emotional eating and joy. Like, let's eat the same things that bring us happiness. And I kind of look at certain big meals as Thanksgiving, like having those feasts where you make a whole lot of food is fellowship. It's sharing of love and socialization with family and friends. We should always incorporate that. I know people who are so extreme on this side that if they're not juicing or fasting or eating an avocado a day or whatever, they can't engage in a feast because it's too much fat and it's too much, food combining is not properly done here and blah, 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 blah. But yet they don't have a relationship with their own family because they're so caught up in this crazy diet situation that they don't feel the love and joy amongst their people. So those are just my thoughts.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Mickey. What do you want to share? Mickey, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, sorry. I was just
Not at all.
thinking, yeah, I was just thinking about what she said was exactly correct because all the things we eat right now is just about the money. Somebody trying to make money. So that's why they won't do any health research. Most of the like a doctor who recommending the health food, they are banned. Like they were looking from the society like that's not true or whatever. They're not getting any credit for it. So I completely agree.
Go for it, Claire.
I was just about to talk on my mic turn on. Yeah, no, I agree with Sky. Like, it's really true about everything she said. And I was just absorbing it in. In the meantime, while listening, I was just researching about like hormones and food and like obesity and what sort of foods. I'm just still researching, so I don't really have much to say about that. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. What about you, Van?
Yeah, I 100% agree that obviously eating and emotions are, are they're connected. We're taught that from the moment we're born. We're totally emotional about eating. I mean, that's what this is all about. You know, that's what I use fasting for, to break certain tides that I have and to break certain habits. I don't want to be controlled by my diet, so to speak. I don't want to be controlled by needing a drink, and I don't want to be controlled by certain things. I want to take control. I don't mind doing certain things. I just want to have control over it. So I like to take breaks, just to start over, and give myself a chance to get in the driver's seat. Because if you don't do that, at least for myself, what tends to happen is, I'll get off the train and there's the liquor store. You know what I mean? I'll be like, and I used to be triggered by my diet, and that's another thing. It's all triggers. So rituals, routines, triggers, you name it. I get off the subway, the liquor store's right there, this store is there, the other thing is there, and I'll think about what am I going to have for dinner, and I'll be like, man, a nice glass of wine will go great with that. Or, damn, I feel like having a shot of Jack Daniels tonight. Whatever it is for you. You know what I mean? And I began to hate the fact that I was being triggered that way. So that was one of my reasonings for the fast, because I realized the last time that we did it, I was able to break those habits. The problem for me was I didn't stick to them, So sometimes the second time's a charm, So that was the reasoning for fasting for me. But also the interesting thing about an alkaline diet, which I aspire to be more alkaline in my consumption. I also start realizing that there are parasites that thrive in alkalinity too. So that's the benefit of a balance. You kind of want a balance, in my view, not just, I don't think human beings can live to be 100% alkaline. I think there has to be some sort of balance, and I think that, to get on the whole alkaline fad, because you have to watch that also, and there are people making huge amounts of money off of that as well. Don't be fooled. There are a lot of corporations that are pushing the whole alkaline movement, the Coca-Colas and all those big corporations like that totally contradict what, healthy living is about. They're involved. They're involved in a really big way, and you have to be careful about that. And so, like I said, it is about research. It is about trial and error. It's what's right for you, but the right thing that's right for you, not the thing that, well, it feels right, so it's right. No, like what's really right. And I love the idea of switching the paradigm of um, the whole health and wellness industry, and making it more pleasurable. Like Sky was saying, yeah, I know about the Ann Wigmore Institute as well, and yeah, I've heard the stories about how unsatisfactory the foods are, but they're healthy. So when you're faced with, say, like a serious ailment, yeah, you're doing what you got to do, but you ain't liking it. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's worse. Sometimes that just because it's like you're being forced to do it. Wouldn't it be great if you can really enjoy, eating this way and enjoy the lifestyle change? It's still going to be an adjustment no matter what, but I'll tell you one thing. I've had chickpeas made into a steak, and it was fantastic. So it can be done. Because if it is about taste and enjoyment, let me tell you something. If you got somebody, I mean, I've never tried Sky's cooking. I've never had the pleasure, but I've known people that know how to throw down raw vegan. And I'm telling you, you're not missing anything. You're really not missing anything. It's a difference, the texture and all that. I mean, let's be honest. A 20-ounce porterhouse steak. It's kind of hard to simulate that, but consciously the benefit you're getting out of it, and then when you say, wow, this tastes really great, it's really easy to switch over into a more healthier eating diet. So it's all about really understanding what the whole picture is and what the benefits are, and then it's easier to make a conscious choice. But I think, I mean, for myself, I'm leaning towards definitely eliminating large quantities of unhealthy foods out of my diet. Like I'll always be raw with, well, right now, as I said, flexitarian, which is, a portion of, say, meat or whatever and fish, but mainly raw. And that's what I aspire to. I'll never go back to the way I was before. And with each passing year, I'm pretty sure I'll just get better and better, because I have this image of myself to age gracefully, as I always say. Like, I don't want to age. I don't mind aging. I love the concept of getting older, wiser, being a vibrant older guy, very charismatic and, a magnetic person, raising my frequency and my vibration. I'm in love with that, taking that on. But what I don't want to do is age and start breaking down. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you have to. And I'm sure with each passing year, I will definitely take on more and more and be more responsible with what I put into my body. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to mute.
I like that, Van. I like the fact that you touch on the fact about addiction, because it's like it's not only just addiction from, well, I mean, I really think it's based from what they're putting in the food, because, like, they put coloring, they put, all that GMO crap, they inject it with hormones, and there's got to be something in there that's making us, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, it's obvious that it's dragging us into to want to eat these things all the time, and it's not good for us. And if we just really think about the benefits of changing it and, like, jazzing it up a lot, like Sky was saying, and, and I have had the pleasure of Sky's cooking, and I really know from seeing her cook, that you can sort of, like, alternate things a lot. You can have that, like you were saying, that you can make, like, not that I eat meat, but like a porterhouse steak or whatever out of a portobello mushroom, and then just really jazz it up a lot, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's disgusting what they're doing. I think actually last time I was in Puerto Rico, Sky and I were talking about, I think Liz or someone else was in the car, and we were talking about you go past Hungry Jack's, and they have, I think Sky brought it up, and they have some sort of, like, apparently some sort of scent coming from it's not natural. Okay, apparently it's not it's just to drag the people in to say, oh yeah, I mean, it smells great, so let's go there, you know. And yeah, and it's not just the taste buds, it's the sense, it's all the senses, you know, that feeling, that taste in your mouth, that touch in your mouth, the texture, everything. So it's a real mass scale problem around the world. And actually, I was watching this guy that I'd like to actually do a permaculture course with him, but his name's, I think, I can't remember his first name. Anyway, someone in Lawton. And he actually was doing this video, and he was like on one side of it was like, I think it was in Australia or somewhere, I don't know where it was, but on one side of the road where there was like, you know, like all bees and like flowers and crops growing and everything like that. It's all natural. And you walk across the road, and then there's all these GMO plastic corn. And you can even tell by looking at the excuse me, the shit, you know, like it's just plastic, and there was no like covering on the ground. There was no covering. It was just, and nothing would go in it. There's no life. So how are we eating that stuff? Like, and the problem I think today as well is it comes down to affordance. Some people say, like, how can I afford to eat organic? Because it gets expensive. People are making the things cheap. Like what I think Mickey touched on this. You know, they're making it affordable to go and buy something that's GMO compared to something that's organic. Do you know what I mean? And sorry, but I choose organic because I know, I mean, what is it doing to our bodies? Are we going to like mutate and get like another head or something, you know? Like it's a real big factor. So I like the fact that you touched on that too, Ben, about the addiction, you know? And it's got to do with the food and and then you can go in the alcohol and all that and the great fermenting, and yeah, anyway, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, think about it really quick, guys. Think about it. You know, food is, like Sky was touching, you know, Claire was saying about, you know, the correlation between the emotions and food. Well, Sky was really, she got into it, and it makes so much sense because I thought about it. Food is like sex, you know. Think about it. Food is like sexy. You know, food, when you think about what you're going to eat, it's just like you thinking about somebody that you're into, you know. You know, you put it in your mouth, you know, the touch, the taste, you know, the scent, you know. Think of when you're kissing someone, you know, and how arousing that is. It's just like food. It almost does the same. You ever heard somebody say that chocolate is better than sex or having sex? I've heard women say that before, like, you know, eating chocolate is like, you know, is almost as good as sex or better than sex or whatever, something along those lines. And when you really think about it, the way they compare, it's almost the same for some people. That's why you see people like really overeating, you know, that like I'll see like technically like an obese person, and they can't help themselves. You know, I used to have a problem with obese people. I used to really criticize them. You know, I really used to come down hard on them. And it took a lot for me to realize that I don't want to say it's not their fault. You know, you do have to take responsibility at some point. And then everybody that's obese is not somebody that eats a whole lot. You know, that's the way the food affects their body. But even the ones that get that way because they're quote unquote greedy or irresponsible or whatever you want to call it, that's an addiction. You know what I mean? They're addicted to that food. So that thing that Sky was talking about, you know, making healthy eating pleasurable, they're looking for pleasure. You know, a lot of people in that situation are at a point where they lack love. Remember, I was taking this course and we were talking about the metaphysics of like diabetes and obesity. And a lot of times people in that situation, they lack love. So they're looking for sweetness, you know, the emotional connection with eating. So you'll see them eating and eating, and they just, you know, they're in a trance, like they just can't help it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just, it all connects when you think about it. It all connects, and none of this is by accident, by the way. There's somebody that understands this, and there's some research being done. Trust me, there is, but it's not to the benefit. It's just to know, what the effects are going to be on people, and how much money we can make out of it, So, but once again, you got to be your own doctor. You got to be your own pharmacist. We all are healers instinctively. We all have it. You can get just as much. First of all, the man-made vitamins never deplete in your body. Those little hard pellets, they're always there. If you don't shit them out, they're in your body. They don't really give you any benefit because they don't really dissolve. And that's what people don't understand. The vitamins come from the foods. Granted, the vitamin content in the food these days are not as high. Yeah, we know that. But if you can get your hands on some wild-crafted herbs, some dandelion, that gives you all the vitamins you need. The real vitamins, along with the sun and good water. Irish moss, anything from the sea kelp, blue and green manna, all these things like that. The grasses. That's where the vitamins are. It's not even in the food so much anymore because they in the soil, whoever they are. But it's definitely not at GNC, so I just wanted to say that.
Well, I think this is time for us to shut it down. I don't know if anyone wants to continue having a conversation, but I'm complete until tonight. This fast is easy for me at this point. I could see riding it out like a good surfboard and a good wave. You guys have a wonderful day, and more later, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Anybody else?
No, I'm good. Have a nice day, or
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay, once again, thanks everybody for coming on the call, and for the viewers, and for those that'll check this out later on YouTube. Thank you, Sky Juice, once again. Mickey, Claire Juice, Claire Clouds. Sorry. And this is Van Edwards, and we'll see you later on 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM, whatever that means to you. Thanks a lot. FebFast is on. Thank you.
Spider Van.
Spider Van, I'm climbing all over you. All right, y'all. Take care. See you later. Happy Valentine's Day. Take care. I'm out. Peace.
All right.